must have been really pleased with the start of the game, but obviously disappointing that the boys couldn't go on with it in those last 3 quarters.
Yeah, I mean, our start was great. Congratulations to Sydney and Chase and their group over there. They're just better than us, and had no answer for them. And we got to flip the page and move on quickly to another game on Sunday. So some lessons to be learned, but at the end of the day, with 2 games left, we just got to refocus quickly and regroup and have a good day tomorrow with some review and then get ready to go Sunday.
I feel like the Kings really lifted their intensity in that second quarter. Was this a case of the guys not being able to match it throughout that second quarter?
Well, they scored 37 points on us, so it was a variety of things of, poor offense and their defense and our poor defense also. So it was one of those quarters that we continue to talk about with our group that we've had all year. The consistency of being inconsistent remains with us, and those quarters, they're hard to come back from.
And obviously that obviously makes things incredibly tough now in terms of the playoff ambitions. Obviously 2 important games on Sunday and then against the Warrior later next week.
Yeah, I mean, it's the end of the year, and we got 14 wins, I believe, and we're right in the thick of things still, and we'll strap it back up on Sunday and go after it again. It is what it is. I've said it all along. We'll finish where we're supposed to finish, and if we're in, we're in. If we're out, we're out.
Chris or anyone else?
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in. Scott, you did such a good job to contain them in the first quarter. You forced them into 9 turnovers. Your defence was on song, and you were able to create offence from that. What did they do that changed after that? Because, I mean, they almost did the exact same thing to you then for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously started making shots, and our defense was breaking down here and there, but then I think really we got quite stagnant defensively. Offensively. The ball didn't move as much as it was, and we got, stuck on one side of the floor and got a little too hungry on that side of the floor and probably overhandled the ball a little bit, which obviously led to the thing you don't want to do to them is early shots and quick shots, which will feed their transition and their one-on-one players to get in the open floor.
They just make you pay, I guess, more than every other team, don't they? I mean, the way they shot the ball, I think they went 14 of 16 in that second quarter. I mean, there's just no other team that can quite make you pay like they can.
Yeah, I mean, they're fantastic. They're fantastic to watch. I enjoy watching them, and they got some, really dynamic players over there at, multiple positional players over there, and they're a handful.
Will, how did you see things out there tonight?
Yeah, I think they turned it up a little bit in the second quarter, and we just started trying to jam things in there on the first side of offense, and that sort of led to us breaking down a little bit defensively. And like Scott said, they capitalised very quickly on your mistakes and led to some run-outs. And it's not really how we wanted to play, but we sort of fed into how they wanted us to play, which is a bit of a shame. But like Scott said, we've got 2 games left. They're 2 must-wins, and we sort of flush this one and come back on Sunday.
Short turnaround, is it a good thing, I guess, both that you don't have long to stew over this game, but also the fact that you don't have to travel so you can stay at home and now get ready for Sunday and wait for Perth to get to town?
Yeah, I guess so. Travel's always a factor, but it's never an excuse. You show up for your job and you play your hardest and do what you can, and that's what we're going to do Sunday. But I think more importantly, this round for us, being Pride round, we also have our Teal game on Sunday, which is massive for us. It's sort of one of these rounds that's bigger than basketball. There's things going on around the world where people aren't included, and we want to be a club and a league that supports people like that. And on Sunday we got the Teal game, which is helping one of our Jack Jumpers family and Jo Harris and the battle that she's had with cancer, and trying to raise as much money as we can and put our best foot forward for her and her family and everyone in Tasmania. And I mean, also one of my best mates got punched in the head on a night out this week, and has been in hospital with brain surgery. And there's things going on right now. It's bigger than basketball, but we just turn up and do what we can on Sunday to make the people proud that we can.
No, very well said on all 3 fronts. Can I just ask you about Harry? Is it? I mean, what happened is horrible, but is it at least somewhat comforting that he looks like he's on the mend quite quickly?
Yeah, it's obviously awful. You don't want that to happen to anyone, let alone a best mate. It's something that it hits you pretty quickly, and had a few tough conversations, and it's been a big week for me personally. But yeah, it's good to see that he's getting better, and I haven't heard from him yet, haven't get to spoke to him, but been in contact with his missus, and he seems to be doing well.
It's a good sign that just this afternoon he was able to put out a tweet, so he's feeling up and about enough to do that, which is a good sign. Can I just ask about you, Will? You've been able to string a pretty good now second half of the season together, and you've been able to stay healthy, stay out on the court. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel good. I'm getting through practices and games and recovering well, and body's feeling good. So, I'm ready to use or play as Scott's, ready to use me. So, like I've always said, we have such a dynamic bigs group that we can play certain options and different things all game. So, I'm just ready to go when he calls my name.
Scott, can I just get your thoughts on a couple of things that Will mentioned?
Yep.
The Teal game and how much that means for the club and the organisation on Sunday, and also your thoughts on Pride Round and the fact that you're, as an organisation, more than happy and willing to be part of it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're an inclusive. We want to make sure that obviously everyone is involved with this from our club standpoint and from the state standpoint, but more importantly, just how we represent ourselves. So we're quite inclusive with the people that we're representing out there. I think it's a great thing by the NBL, the initiative by the NBL, and we're happy to be jumping on board with it and supporting that. Our club wants to be known as a club that's inclusive to everyone, treating everyone equally. The game on Sunday is hugely important for the reasons that Will has stated. It's personal for me because I've lost 2 family members to cancer also. So the game is big in a lot of different ways, and hopefully we'll put on a good performance on Sunday.
No, very well said. Just the last one from me. The game on Sunday now against the Wildcats. A big game, obviously, but we saw last week with the Wildcats coming off a similar travel from Friday night to them having to travel and come on Sunday. The Phoenix talked about how they wanted to take advantage of them potentially being a little bit tired. Simon Mitchell even talked about deliberately not calling timeouts just to take advantage. Is that something you'll look to potentially do on Sunday to try to hopefully drive them into the ground a little bit?
Well, I think we just have to be, our demeanor and our intent has to be better just in general across the board, irregardless if they're coming in from wherever they're coming in from, so it doesn't really matter. They got the best player in the world, I've said multiple times, it's not in the NBA. And so when they walk on the floor, they have a chance to beat you every single time with him. So there's a lot of things to take care of against them, and they'll be ready to go. I'm sure they'll be quite fired up to come and play. And in this building, I think everyone really enjoys coming in to play in this building. Not only us, but the other teams enjoy coming in here because of the atmosphere, and it's a credit to our fans. But they'll come in here all fired up and ready to go, and we'll take a swing at them.
Oh, excellent. Thanks very much, guys.
Yep.
Any final ones? Ben?
Wondering, you guys had a really good start with offensive rebounding, something you've not been particularly great at statistics-wise in the past. Is that something you're looking to improve on, and how come it wasn't able to play out for the whole game?
We'll both take it. We've been a very good offensive rebounding team just in general. We're very good in a lot of areas in that category, and tonight we were okay again, and we continue to talk about going to the offensive glass. But, it's difficult also when they're making shots and you're just taking it out of the net, and the whole grind of the game and the pace of the game. And, sometimes you are better in some situations getting offensive rebounds. We've had some really big nights where we've done a really good job on the offensive glass, and some nights not so well. But our intent is always to go offensive rebound. You can go ahead, Will.
I was just going to say it's hard to offensive rebound when you're just trying to jam the ball in there on the first side and not take predictable shots. I think that's what kind of took away from it after the first quarter. We were taking good shots, and that leads to offensive rebounding opportunities. And I'm just looking here. Kel's had 4, Fab had 3, 1, 2. Like, we had 16 as a team, so that's a good number we want to live by. But I think majority of those came in the first quarter, so we need to keep that throughout the game.
Yeah, and DJ obviously had a really good game. It's really hard to defend against him when he's playing like that. Did you guys have a game plan against him going into the match? And did you execute it the way you would have liked to?
Well, he was 9 of 13, so probably not. But he's a great player. I play with him from the AIS. We've grown up together. He's had a great career, and he's really stepped it up in the NBL now. And, you know, when he's making tough shots like that, he's one of the hardest people to guard in the league. You know, 5'8" from 3 is tough. But, you know, you just deal with what you can, and I don't think we did a good job responding to him getting some open looks, and we could have probably taken a little bit of a step up on him defensively, but we didn't really take on that challenge as well as we could have.
That's all. Thanks, guys.
You good? Yeah.
Oh, thanks.